for game 2.
All right, Secret, one game away from being bottom of their group, and Wings, one game away from going into the decider. Gods, but where are you betting your horse? How quick is Secret gonna lose?
Yeah, it's less like where are you betting your horse, and I feel like that's what people are probably talking about now. With Secret have looked pretty bad today. That goes without saying.
They really have. They really have. All right, Secret versus Newbie, game number 2. Let's go.
Wow. Made it
Secret
just in time.
Just like that. They need everything they can to be able to 5-man smoke straight into Blink. Might be able to pick up the first blood, as they should be able to run it down. They get a little bit of extra damage, and sure enough, there it is. Now the question, wait, there it is. All right, Pilot Eye picks up the first blood. Now the question is whether or not they're going to be able to get anything more, as the fight is still going to go on. Looks like Innocence took a little bit of damage. Secret starting off this game number 2 with a very minor advantage in first blood for themselves. I guess after that game 1, you gotta take what you can, Gods.
Yeah, they went for the level 1 smoke through mid lane. I really like that play. We see it very rarely, but when I've seen it, it's always been effective. And find a kill, get down a deep ward, and we'll see what Secret can go from this.
Rune,
Bottom one.
gonna be challenged.
Nice.
Yeah.
Ice just swoops in with a nightmare and says, "Thank you very much, Artur."
And they leave the top rune for the Wind Ranger. So, Wings recovering a little bit after losing that first blood.
Yeah, Universe is in deep, drawing away a creep wave, but Ice doesn't even have mana for a nightmare here, and he loses his clarity. So good play from Universe to cancel that and keep the creep wave coming his way.
Yeah. So this should be a free level 2 for him in that regard. Meanwhile, our 2 supports from Secret in kind of an awkward position. Looks like they're going to wrap around behind the off-lane Tide Hunter and see if they can get an early kill. They already managed to get the stun, and the right-click damage is pretty immense here, so they should be able to get this kill. Bian tries to put himself into the side shot, but is just not going to be able to make it out alive. I think he was hoping to be able to get into the trees and go for a healing south play, but not going to happen. Hello, panel.
Bit of replay of those beautiful gentlemen over there.
Yeah.
But I think he was kind of in his... I could tell, like, when he's starting items, he saved 500 gold. It was almost like he was trying to evaluate the situation. Can I contest this lane, or do I need to Iron Talon jungle? And he's going to look back and say, okay, probably made the wrong call, expecting the IO to spend more time at bottom, and Secret, as soon as they see the Tide up there, we're ready to contest.
Shadow, is he actually dead? There's no Nightmare to be able to stop this one. Universe, he's got the kill. He's going to get one more right click, finish him off. He may actually die here as the tower does get a couple of shots on him, and the return kill does go to Ice, but still a big win for Universe in the off lane.
That's canceling that clarity earlier ends up really paying dividends for him, as still Bane had no mana.
He's trying to actually stop the pull, but it's not going to happen, and he's just going to take a lot of damage in return. Keeps on right-clicking the heroes to pull the 2 melee creeps over to him, but one of them's going to get denied, so he just took a lot of damage and only really pulled 1 melee creep worth of experience for that.
This start for Team Secret in game number 2 could not have really gone better, other than Arteezy not getting that level 1 bounty rune. Everything else has just been on point. They killed the Tide when he comes to the off-lane, they got the first blood with their smoke. Their off-lane Batrider Universe has managed to get a solo kill on the Spectre.
Yes. The good old Satyr Banisher gank. Innocence is going to try and keep Arteezy in one place with that rather insane purge and its 2-second cooldown. Doesn't look like it's going to work, though. The Satyr Tormentor showing itself. Arteezy's just sitting really far back as the creep wave does get into the tower. He's going to try and pull it off, and that is where the Enchantress is going to be, wrapping around behind the Tier 1 tower now, just trying to get in range. Does manage to get the purge, but still, our Wind Ranger is a little distance away. He does manage to start soul siphoning up, and it looks like he's going to be able to survive off of that, and Innocence is going to go down in return. Not really valuing that Spirit Siphon enough, not respecting it, and Arteezy is able to pick up the turnaround.
Yeah, I mean, Secret just ready for that aggression in mid lane. Pi even teeping in with the overcharge, giving that extra survivability. So Wings, it's one of those things where we haven't really seen like what happens when they get contested in the early game, and here it's a bad early game start, and they're just trying to force
Universe at it again. He gets the Nightmare just in time. Ice will be able to get himself out from underneath that flame, but still, Universe is destroying this 1v2.
Yeah, I mean, that kind of dive on the mid lane is just very overzealous. Like, you're not realistically going to, even without the TP in from Io, I think they're unlikely to get the kill just because he had 2 Spirit Siphons. He can throw one on the Wind Ranger, one on the Enchantress, and it was a very low percentage play to be making for Wings, and something where they struggle a bit in the first couple of minutes, and they just need to kind of slow things down and wait and kind of transition into the mid game without giving away these kind of kills.
Yeah, it's kind of like game number 1, right? It's just you can have this static laning phase for Wings, and if you want to be able to be aggressive, you can be aggressive around the 10-minute marker, but no need to be diving in so early before then, as these early kills may actually allow Secret to be able to hold on during the time when Wings are going to be looking for those kills, right? I mean, you're going to start being aggressive with your Enchantress, Wind Ranger around the 10 to 12 minute mark, right? And try to set up the Spectre for kills, but if they feed away too much in this laning phase, they may actually not be able to get those kills they're searching for.
Yeah, they are at least managing to get Tide what he needs in the off lane now with the supports rotating towards mid, so it has kind of opened up some space across the map, but realistically they want to get something more done with this Enchantress.
They've got the sleep and they've got a Centaur coming in. They may be able to get this kill. Pylai die. There's the reveal. He's going to try and go for a lasso out, but the burst damage may be too much. He gets the tether away. Last couple of right clicks aren't going to be enough. So Innocence is the one to pick up the kill. They're quickly wrapping around behind the tier 1 tower to see if they can put some pressure on Universe immediately after that one, as the creep wave is coming in, but Universe plays it safe.
And I think the big thing where they need to pressure early on is because you're versing a Sven who already has Helm of the Dominator, so you don't want to play, you need to make sure your mid game goes well, because otherwise the Sven will just do that power farm thing where you're stacking Ancient, stacking your jungle, and getting out of control, almost like to Alchemist levels of farm. So already there's aggressive wards up near the Ancient stack. Puppey's going to immediately deward it though, and this is very important strategically for Secret to deny any vision of this Ancient's area where Envy's going to be looking to stack.
Yeah. That is one of the critical ways for Sven to be able to get far ahead of the enemy carry. He's usually one of those heroes that needs to be able to operate with like a 5,000 gold advantage, I would say, most of the time, and that comes from Ancient stacking. Wings can actually deny that. They'll be okay, but it doesn't look like Secret to give them the opportunity. They're actually going to go for Bian here. Managed to get the stun, the follow-up Spirit Siphon. Can't actually cleanse that one off, so they are going to be able to just run him down underneath that tier 1 tower and probably turn it into a tier 1 kill as well.
Yeah, just, I think, clever rotation from Arteezy, a hero you don't normally expect to be rotating into gank you, but just a Spirit Siphon all you need. They've even got the Exorcism, which they can commit with the Godspring to guarantee a tier 1 tower. Any towers you take means you're going to have more of the map open to farm, and that just power farming Sven play gets that much more viable.
Wind Ranger trying to use the illusion to bait something out from Secret. Obviously not going to be the case here. Eternal Envy, now the Spectre ultimate goes down. They manage to get the Nightmare, but not actually controlling any of these heroes very well. He's going for Pylai Die in the background, but he's very rapidly underneath the tier 1. And just like that, the Wings rotation is completely defeated. That's a Spectre, the first Spectre ultimate, plus a full rotation out from Wings to the top lane. This buys Secret a lot of space in middle as well as bottom.
5-man swing. They're gonna go. I don't even know if they can for sure get this tower, and even if they do, this is not a very meaningful tower for Team Secret. If they really want, they can just fall back and leave this, but I think they've actually got the tools to defend now as well. Spectre doesn't even have mana for a dagger right now, so...
Yeah, sure enough. A TP in from Universe is all it takes, and Universe, his farm isn't even slowed down at all. Obviously, he did a fantastic job at the bottom lane, and he's only another like 600 gold away from being able to get that Blink Dagger. He can just farm the Dire jungle now to finish that off.
The scan scouts out the retreat right at the end of the duration there, so this on-point play coming out from Secret. They know that Wings have now backed off from this top lane to go and farm. It gives Envy the kind of freedom to continue contest like well, farming this lane. He's got stacks which were taken initially by the Batrider, so there was like a quad stack over in his jungle, but he's got stacks now at the Ancients, which will be all his, so Wings need to put themselves in a position where they can really fight around the Ravage plus Haunt. They need to be very careful about how they use those ultimates, because as soon as they're on cooldown, that's where Secret can take objectives. You've got the Sven who can either farm his Ancient stacks, the DP you can push towers with, so Wings have to make sure they capitalize when they go for the Spectre Haunt.
Invis Rune picked up for Arteezy, but Blink is already putting some pressure on the tier 1. Looks like we hear the sounds of God's strength. Sven is going to clear through the offlane camp and maybe rotate over to the Ancients. That is a mediocre stat, but still may be enough. How do you think you continue to play this one as an Eternal Envy? You get that fast Blink Dagger?
I'm not sold on the blink. Either I may as well upgrade your boots to tread, but the Echo Saber has become quite popular on the hero, and even still the SMY build, but I think the Echo Saber is perhaps the preferred damage dealing build for this hero.
I think being able to play this Sven as the kind of Echo Saber and as you said, like SMY, that kind of like very stat heavy build is the way to go. Arteezy uses the invis to be able to scout out Ice inside the Roshan pit, and he will be taken out. So they save the stack, keep it Eternal and be healthy, happy, and farming away while getting that pick off Wings. No real response from them.
Yeah, and the big issue with the lane stage going poorly with like the Tide giving up kills, the Spectre even dying at bat, is that they haven't set themselves up to slow down the Sven whatsoever. The stacks have already been farmed up once. You've got to imagine enemies going to continue to stack that, look to farm it up multiple times. And at what stage are Wings really ready to fight it? They've got their ultimates, so if they really want to commit all these big teamfight ultimates, they have a chance to, but they're being out-farmed. They're going to have a level 6 Puppy Ancient Apparition soon, so then they're going to be fighting into the Ice Blast as well, and Secret have all the tools to fight around that Ancients area with the Universe Blink, more importantly.
There is no laning wards, so Wings' rotation from Ice and Blink might be able to catch out the duo with and Sven, but if they fail this gank, they may be punished by TP rotations from Secret, or even just a free escape from, say, a relocate out from the Wisp that will still, in the end, punish Wings for their inefficiency. Doesn't look like there's going to be an opening that they feel comfortable with.
And Universe just going to go back to farming, and this is where like you have your Blink Dagger. Wings are going to be playing somewhat scared. The first smoke with the Blink didn't work, but you can fall back, farm up the Force Staff a bit, slow things down if you're Secret, recognizing that Andy is going to continue to power farm. Has picked up a Helm, so it looks like we'll see the Armlet build out of him. Armlet, even better when you've got the IO to kind of basically counteract the HP loss when you activate the Armlet and keep you alive, so it is the most cost-effective damage item really to pick up on a Sven.
Radiant's middle
Wings wasting a lot of time, and maybe it's them that is now the team that is a bit too easy to read. With their rotations across the map, Secret seem to have their number here in Game 2 for the first 11 minutes or so. You can see our Spectre playing really far back right now, bottom lane, afraid of being potentially ganked as the rest of his team is searching for that kill opportunity. They're gonna go ahead and pop that smoke on the tier 1 tower, quickly take it down, focus fire. And that is the end of Wings' rotation. And bottom lane.
Yeah, it's a strong setup because you've got Arteezy pushing with the Blink, Batrider sitting behind him, and there's always the threat of a relocate.
Oh, now the Spectre forced to pop the ultimate as Universe actually scouts him out, jumps over to Arteezy, slows him down with the dagger. The rest of Wings is coming in, but the Exorcism is still out. Universe actually going to jump in. Ravage goes down. Maybe they can actually pop Universe real quickly and still fight Arteezy, or maybe not. Here comes the reload. It goes for Innocence. He's going to be the first one down for the Sven as they are able to finish him off with Cleave. Now Shadow tries to get away, but he's cleaned up Arteezy's nuke. Double kill for him. And Secret, well on their way to be able to take a tier 1 tower at that bottom lane. First really good punishment there from Secret in a team fight.
Yeah, it's so hard to engage into this incredibly tanky Death Prophet with the treads double null. You're looking at this, when he's on strength tread, something like 1200 HP, and you get a decent Ravage initiation, but the follow-up damage is just not really there. It's just the power shot that gives you a bit of extra burst damage, but other than the Batrider, they can only kill one of the 2 targets, and the Death Prophet, they probably can't even kill in that situation, so...
The Highlight Eye caught in the river is going to go down. Okay. That's, it seems like, I mean, throwing the Ravage, anytime you have to use Ravage and it's not catching the Sven and Wisp, I think that's going to be a great opportunity for Secret just to be able to punish you, right? There's just no follow-up damage. They had to, like, instantly kill both of those heroes to even have a chance at responding to Wisp Sven when they lack that big AoE disable.
And it was a really good relocation position because they were right on top of the Enchantress, who was going to be one of those key follow-up damage heroes for the side of Wings. You're not expecting your Spectre to really do a whole lot of damage in that situation, but the Enchantress at the backlines on these Ravaged or Fiend Script heroes is going to be a big problem. So Secret immediately make their next move. They're going to farm up some Ancients here while invading the enemy jungle. And they've got, again, relocate already back up. They're ready to back up this trio with the Sven if needed.
Means Universe can pretty much fearlessly look for some of these kills. They're going to throw the scan out near the hard camp hoping to be able to find somebody farming that one up. Shadow, though, now going to show himself in the mid lane. Secret, just unfortunately a bit too fast to see that opportunity. Their smoke has now run out, and they may not be able to get that pick.
Blink armlet on Envy. He is ready to fight, and he now acts as like an instant follow-up to the Batrider's initiation. Does need to be careful about how he uses this with the tether relocates in, but it's Wings who are forced to kind of 5-man around the map. Ravagers come back up, so they just want to make sure they're sticking together at all costs.
Tier 2 being chipped away. Eternal Envy.
Here comes the Ice Blast, though.
Soon. They can get the Ice Blast onto 3. Oh, that's going to be a big one. Now to jump in, they get the lasso pull back onto BN. Now the Spectre pops the ultimate Secret. Actually playing this really defensively despite that great initiation, forcing out the Ravage. Eternal Envy is going to be clipped by it, but that is all, and Wings still pushing forward like they want to be able to fight this one. They've got the Fiend's Grip onto Eternal Envy. The relocate back, though, he's going to be able to save him. The Shackle Shot doesn't actually latch, and Wings can't actually take this one. Not anymore. Now Eternal Envy's got the God Strength. He's going to be slept up. Wings, I think you got to count your lucky stars that you're going to get out of that fight alive.
Very scrappy fight from both sides. Ultimately, no casualties. Both teams losing their tier 2 tower. It really looked like that Ice Blast was... Envy could have blinked in, Storm bolted 2 and started fighting, but his team weren't really in position to back him up. And
yeah,
even...
Did you see our Arteezy's TP? What happened there? Did he cancel somewhere?
Must have canceled accidentally.
Yeah.
I'm not entirely sure on that one.
Because that was definitely the reason that Wings felt okay at pushing forward. But I'm agree with you. Even 4 versus 5, that seemed like almost a fight that Secret could have won.
It was a guaranteed 2-hero Storm Bolt on squishy heroes, the Wind Ranger and Enchantress, but you're blinking into the Fiend's Grip, and your team doesn't have the easiest way to cancel the Fiend's Grip. When Flame Break costs a lot of mana, Universe actually ran into mana problems after that lasso, and it looked like that they kind of didn't. They went for the front lines rather than the 2 squishies on the back line who did get hit by the Ice Blast. But at least a neutral trade for Wings, which at this stage is when you're kind of playing from behind, you'll take those even exchanges.
Yeah. And they've got some, they would have some decent control of the Dire jungle at that point in time, but you've got some really good defensive wards by Secret. They want to be able to protect that, as that is going to be one of Eternal Envy's main sources of farm, bouncing between top lane, jungle, and then going over to the Ancients. The Universe is going to try and set up a relocate gank onto Shadow. But Shadow backs up at just the right time.
And this is kind of what led to some of Secret's downfall in the earlier games today against Na'Vi. They just went for too much of this kind of solo gank play where they're not getting their cores involved in. They're still showing here, like, despite Secret being ahead, I'm not like convinced by their team play. That fight at top was kind of all over the place. And this game as well, we're seeing Universe kind of go for these solo pickoffs where I think he should be kind of spending more time with Arteezy, with the team, taking objectives.
Highlight eye, pop the dagger, Ice. Oh, actually just straight up comes forward in to get the beam stripping down the silence. The combo, Ravage actually goes down, but all of Wings are so damn low, they're not going to be able to follow this one up real well unless Arteezy actually goes down the focus fire. He's going to be able to finish him off. Ice gets taken out by Eternal Envy, but he needs the protection of Highlight Eye. What? Blink? Hello? Space checks the wards, and now they actually might be able to have enough to be able to go forward. Ice Blast onto Shadow, but Eternal Envy couldn't get the right click. Universe jumps forward, catches an instance, and they will be able to get a 4th kill. Not Spectre, but instead the Enchantress.
Both teams not really showing their A-game here. Wings in game number 2. Misplays like that from Wind Ranger, just chasing unnecessarily and just dying to the spirits of the IO. An unnecessary chase. They'd had at least an okay fight up until that point, trading the Death Prophet for the Bane and the Tide, at least like a core for your off lane plus a support. It wasn't too bad, and then they give away 2 more, so Wings not really looking like themselves here.
Certainly not.
Secret, though, at least in a position to succeed, and this has very much come from, like, when they can get away with this kind of greed with a hero like Sven, that's great for them, and I feel like they may fall back on playing a lot of Sven in this tournament, playing heroes like Alchemist, because they may just be more comfortable in these games where they can outfarm their opponents.
Yeah. And that really does seem to be the case, as sure enough, that 5,000 gold lead for the Sven over the Spectre is already here at 18 minutes, and that's very likely to grow even worse over time. Shadow did pick up an Invis rune at the top lane, not that he's really going to be able to do a whole lot with this. scouts out Arteezy, and that's really all. None of his team rotating over, try and go for some sort of weird gank. Instead, Wings, I think they really just got to focus on getting some farm and letting Secret come to them in the next 5 minutes or so, because I'm not sure if these team fights are really going to change unless they start getting some bigger items. But they disagree. They're going to go for the 4-man smoke.
I'm kind of totally in agreement with you. If they find a straight up 5v5 team fight into Exorcism and God Strength, I think they get crushed. So they need to try and isolate the IO +1, because often Secret setup is going to have 3 heroes somewhere on the map with the IO backing up the carry Sven.
Oh, Sven actually thinking forward straight into Bian. They will be able to get a really good field trip. Highlight Die in the background has to go for the reload out and will be able to save Eternal Envy.
Importantly, there was no Ravage to catch Highlight Die on the relocate in. They had Ravage, it was up in 2 seconds, they could have won that fight.
Yeah.
They do have it now though, so this gets very risky for Secret, who may be forced to, who may try and re-engage.
With God Strength down, no relocate, Ravage still up, even if Fiend's Grip is not. And Highlight Eye might have actually just put himself too far forward. Oh! The combination of nukes, they just left that open a little bit longer. Maybe Bian could have gotten an anchor smash or something. That would have been enough to finish him off, but...
Very deep by himself here, but...
Has he got some sort of escape? He really doesn't.
He's got teammates coming faster.
Radiance
Will be okay, and Secret actually may be able to pick up a really early Roshan. Yeah, sure enough.
They see Spectre top, they know Haunt's down, and this is it's still an okay phase of the game for Wings. They're not losing fights, they're building towards the radiance, so they're effectively fighting without 4,000 of their net worth, with the Spectre just picking up the relic now. So we're very much at that stage of the game where, if anything, Wings just want to try and get a pick-off or two, or have a slight, or trade evenly in a team fight when they've got their ultimates, and then back off and farm. They trade evenly by just not losing anyone, and Secret transition into a Roshan/Aegis, but they need to get more than that if they want to really put Wings down here in game number 2.
Yeah. It is kind of interesting. We're going to get to see a different side of Secret in this tournament, a Secret that's actually ahead, and how they're going to be able to perform with that kind of lead. Because as you said, like, this is a team that does prefer to be able to have more of a farmy, like, late game oriented style, and they've already managed to do well in the first 20 minutes. They should be able to build this up even further, barring any major mistakes. And we'll see whether or not those mistakes do come. Puppy is going to be caught out trying to do the counter warding. It looks like maybe just a free one-off. The relocate also going to be coming down onto Bian. He does have the Ravage. He wants the blow to be able to save himself, and he does so. They did get the Ancient Apparition, and Bian will be able to escape. But it looks like they're just going to try and go for the kill onto Highlight Die. He did bring the Sven back, so never mind. Down in the bottom lane, so now that he's gone, they're actually going to go for our tour. Managed to get the sleep onto him. Dagger will wake him back up, and they managed to get the Hellfire Smash as well there. Arteezy turns around for the silence, actually now going for the Spirit Cycle with Universe jumping in. The ultimate goes down for the Spectre, but it doesn't really seem to be enough. Arteezy, there's just not enough damage to be able to focus him down, and it's in starts throwing out those shots, and now Eternal Envy is here. He's going to go straight with Blink, forcing that win run out of him, while Arteezy's right in the middle of 2 different heroes, should be able to take out both rather easily. Eternal Envy's going to be the focus of this focus fire, and he's actually dropping pretty damn fast. The Ice Blast coming in, not going to be able to land, but Arteezy still looking for the chase. Innocence being slowed down. Looks like Universe should be able to get in front of him with the Bat Rider. And a 1-for-3 exchange there, clearly to the favor of Secret.
It's still, like, it doesn't feel awful for Wings. Like, trading 1-for-3 when they kill the Sven of all heroes.
Yeah.
They're buying time against the Aegis. It's Secret who come out on top of that one, but it's not like, okay, they're really starting to snowball. I still don't feel like they've done enough to completely keep Wings out of this game. The Radiance timing is at least going to be decent for Wings. The win range has stayed alive. Like, that Sven kill gave them a lot of money. You're looking at 660 gold just for the kill itself.
Yeah, the stats actually agreed with you. They were slightly ahead in gold from that exchange.
With a 1-for-3.
Yeah, but with a 1-for-3.
And before that, they'd killed the AA. So yeah, it was kind of a separate fight, but at least Wings, for the most part, are holding their own here in the mid game, despite their gold deficit, despite the fact Spectre didn't have a Radiance until now.
Yeah. 7-16, the Radiance is now up for the Spectre, and that can change a lot for Wings. They're going to have... there is still the problem for Secret that they are operating on two different supports that are very easily focused down by a Spectre, Ancient Apparition, as well as, in some cases, Wisp. As neither one of them has a whole lot of defensive mechanisms, not really a reliable escape nor disable against the Spectre, and Batrider is also going to have some issues now that the Radiance is up.
I mean, this just feels like all it's going to take is one bad team fight where Wings get off an amazing Ravage into Shackle, they get the grip onto the Sven, and suddenly the game's going to be dead even and momentum's going to be going Wings' way. So Secret, I think they can kind of tell, they're one bad team fight against the Spectre Radiance away from just perhaps being 2-0'd.
Yeah.
And even though they're ahead right now, it can so quickly change versing a Spectre draft.
Do you get the feeling that while you can say they're playing conservatively, it also feels like a little bit scared that Secret are just kind of like, oh man, guys, we're finally up in a game and we can't afford to throw this away.
They don't seem to have any confidence whatsoever. They also, you can see small little misplays here and there. The initiation of the top tier 2 tower. Envy kind of going in, even just that recent fight, I don't feel like Envy exactly just played his hero all that well. He put himself in a position where he was the one who didn't have the Aegis. Aegis was on the death prophet. Arteezy getting caught out by 3 heroes wasn't an issue because he had the backup. And then Envy blinks in to try and fight without Exorcism behind him and he just dies. So things like that, I just feel like Secret aren't all on the same page, but more than anything, they're kind of playing scared / without confidence.
The sleep at bottom lane on the Death Prophet did actually force 2 rotations from Secret, and they might be able to catch, they're going to be able to catch Ice Ice. So they're going to pull him back in for Arteezy to be able to munch on, and Universe will be the one to pick up the kill.
They're committing to the high ground. They're going to force Wings to respond.
This is smart. He still has the Aegis as well as 16 Bloodstone charges. Arteezy very happily challenged this tier 3 nice and early. They still have the relocate play ready to go, waiting until after BN.
Oh, but he's lost Aegis.
Ravage.
I'm not sure they can fully commit to a Rax. I think if you're Wings, you're okay losing a tier 3 tower here. You don't want to force a really bad fight. And now the Exorcism is going to run out, and Arteezy will be healed up. So Secret, go ahead and call it a day. Back out. Take it to tier 3 and not risking anything else. Yeah. All right. Again, Secret playing at a very safe pace here. They are going to continue to kind of extend their lead. They're out farming their opponents for the most part. They're putting themselves in a position to just secure the next Roshan. Envy can farm up a BKB, which will solve a lot of his problems as far as fighting into Ravage, Shackle Shot, Radiance on the Spectre.
Yeah.
Negate a lot of the damage up when it means that it's just the Fiend script to worry about. But
nice scan there from the Dire. Will be able to catch Wings as they smoked up and running through the river. They even draw the exact path that Wings is going to be heading into. They cut across into the Dire jungle. And Secret looks like they're going to be grouping up on the top side and might be able to catch something here. The Radiant now using their scan in the mid. I think they were hoping that that little bit of red meant that somebody was coming out of middle and into the lanes, but rather quite the opposite.
Yeah, Envy kind of trying to bait here, knowing he has the relocate to back him up, but gonna see much come from this. And now the wards will scout out Wings' exact position in the jungle. So Secret likely to try and take a team fight again pretty soon. They've got another Exorcism. They are in good fighting shape with the Shiva's Guard up soon on Arteezy. Got a lot of farm ready to go. It's just really Envy's Sven who's maybe missing that next big item.
What is this farm at? 3,600? What do you think he's waiting on?
I think it really has to be the BKB, or at least that to me makes the most sense.
So once he has that BKB, that's kind of like a serious peak for a Secret at that point in time, where they could rather easily go high ground if they wanted to.
It's an item you often don't want to get too early on in the game, but I think we're hitting that point where Secret with the next Aegis will be able to go for a lane of Rax, and that's where you want to have BKB against the Ravage.
Right.
So I think he's made the right call not going for the BKB earlier on in his item build, but we're there now. 4k gold. Envy, what's it going to be? And Wings themselves just grouped up around mid. They want to stick as 5 for the most part. Maybe they go as 4 and have the Haunt to back them up, but...
You call it BKB, and Shiva's ready to go. We'll see what Secret do from here. Wings are still the ones actually pushing forward, though. They've got the focus fire on the tier 2 tower, chipping away at it. I'm sure Secret not going to let this one go to start mounting their response with the universe. And that means a quick blink back from Wings on the retreat.
This is still a fairly squishy Spectre, so in these fights, if Sven gets on top of Spectre with a Stormbolt and in Godstring form with BKB, Spectre will melt very quickly.
Yeah, this definitely seems like a game where Shadow's going to have to play much more of a guerrilla-style hit and run.
Dream scenario is he finds the IO in the back lines, kills him off to start things.
Yeah. Then tries to clean up heroes like Ancient Apparition, even Batrider, and kiting the 2 other cores, because those 2 others seem to be too tanky to actually force down even Arteezy. That many Bloodstone charges and that much armor now, thanks to the Shivas as well as the Veil. It's going to be tough to rip through with physical damage at least. Blink Dagger now up with the Tidehunter. There is still the opportunity for that kind of dream game-changing initiation from him. But that seems to be the only way right now for Wings to be able to win a fight. They're going to be able to jump here in the top lane. Go for Eternal Envy, actually pops the BKB. Ravage goes down, trying to stop that relocate, but the relocate still actually goes down. Eternal Envy is going to be being scripted up. Miscommunication from Secret, but Eternal Envy maybe just farmed enough to be able to do okay here. He gets at least the Tide before he ends up dying. Now Pylai Die is going to be brought right back. What was that, Gods? A relocate save was there, but he pops the BKB.
Yeah, he couldn't tether him. And also, like, it looked like Io was actually going to die before the relocate, because Spectre did a really good job of finding, and he gets vision of the Io, and he actually jumps on the Io over the Sven just to try and go for that kill. But like you say, you don't pop your BKB there if you're a Sven. You're up against the Bane. You're not going to be able to BKB your way out of that situation. You don't even have a TP, so the BKB definitely not the play. And Envy gives away a big kill to the side of Wings. That's the kind of, it's not the big teamfight loss, but it's a pretty big kill for Shadow, who now completes a full Manta style off of it. Windranger completes a full Aghanim Scepter off of it. That's 2 big item pickups on the main core heroes of Wings off of just one small little skirmish.
And the thing is, Eternal Envy is not going to be the one feeling the pain of a Manta style from Spectre. It's going to be those poor supports who all of a sudden used to have 1 Spectre that instantly jumps. Now there's going to be 3 Spectres surrounding that poor little Pylai Die Wisp and beating him into the ground nice and quick. They have the Ags and the Wind Ranger, so better focus fire on the way to be able to maybe finally deal with heroes like Death Prophet in a fight, but we'll have to see, as that fight is yet to come. Secret are going to be going for Roshan next, and I don't think Wings can actually stop it with 50 seconds left on the Ravage.
Yeah. The other big problem with what that sequence of events up top is Envy already down to a 9-second BKB. This is one of those games where the BKB duration makes a big difference because of the way the late game's going to play out, where you've got a lot of these kind of spammable disables like Shackle Shot, things like Gust, which is just a pesky slow. It's going to be really tough for Envy, even fighting into the Nightmare in the late game. If he's got a 5-second BKB, he really needs to rely on that long duration one, which is why he picks it up so late in his item build, because he was trying to wait and time the BKB pickup such that they're going to be ready to end the game. So dying and using your 10-second BKB, a big loss for Secret.
Well, Secret with a fresh Aegis may have plucked the courage to be able to go high ground again. Again, there's still that missing tier 3 at bottom lane, so if they ever do find the opening, it's going to be a really fast lane of Rax for Secret. But Wings are still doing a great job. They're pushing out the waves constantly. Now that we have a Manta style, obviously this means even more opportunities to keep the lanes forward, and Secret off kilter, unable to go for the simple 5-man.
The push I just don't think is that easy, because Spectre can almost always kill this Io. I think Puppey has to keep an eye. Puppey's got the Glimmer Cape, but I think more than using on himself, he needs to use it on Pylai Die when the Haunt comes out. Keeping the Io alive, much more important than his own life.
Run around the Ancient Apparition Gem, and that will actually help out quite a bit at being able to stop Wings from feeling comfortable in split pushing, because no matter what, there is still a Blink Dagger Sven with a relocate. So even just an Ancient Apparition Ice Blast may be enough to set up a relocate kill. So they do have to be careful when trying to split push and buy themselves time. May end up being punished if Secret can find the opening. But in the meantime, Arteezy's 3,500 gold. He's got his next item coming in soon, I guess.
Yeah, I think the big thing to be able to defend the Aegis push is just going to be having buybacks on some of these key fighting heroes, the Wind Ranger and the Spectre. Wind Ranger a little bit short, so perhaps trying to farm it at this top lane before the push comes, but Arteezy's ready to force this one.
Gush, as well as Dagger, already being used. I almost feel like this is a near impossible scenario for Wings to be able to save this lane of Rax. Gonna pop the clip, get the sleep, now the jump in. Universe is gonna be able to catch Innocence. The ultimate is popped, and they get a really good beam strip onto Eternal Envy with the BKB activated. They can't actually do anything to be able to save him. The relocate may actually come out now. Highlight Die makes the tether in, but it's just under Arteezy, bopping him up as much as possible. Eternal Envy may have dropped a little low, but it's Arteezy who's become the main carry now as he challenges the rest of Wings as a full 5-man with the Aegis now still intact. Good Shackle Shot, gonna be able to buy some time. Good Ravage as they manage to get Universe in the background as well, finishing him off with a sleep and a couple of right clicks while Arteezy still becomes the main focus. Shadow is already cleaned up. Highlight Die with, and will be able to make sure there's no escape for Arteezy in life number 2. So that's why you just pull out, commit suicide, and that means more items for the Spectre. Fuse Blade picked up by him.
And they lose Rax, and importantly, yeah, Secret get their first lane. It's far from game over off of that, but it was a much needed lane of Rax, given that it was the second Roshan, and Wings were starting to claw their way back into the game with the Spectre Radiance, with the Wind Ranger Aghanim Scepter, so big ultimate's gone cooldown, so Secret could look to fight on respawn, but more likely than not, they're going to be a little bit cautious in doing so because they've lost that Aegis.
Yeah, they can't afford to lose a fight on their side of the base. That's for sure.
Highlight Eye having a glimmer cape of his own in that fight, making a big difference. Also got up a really good tether. Spectre haunted on top of the IO, but then he tethered a really long distance to get away from the Spectre who was attacking him. So he tethered into the enemy base. He eventually dies, but he kind of wasted a good 5 seconds of Shadow's time.
Yeah.
Where he could have been going for the AA or the Bat Rider as well to follow up that initial kill on Io.
More split pushing from Shadow as he's attempting to use the Manta to do so. Other than that, Secret, you think they wait on the next Aegis before trying to go to the tier 2s at mid or top?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the play is just going to be wait next Roshan, get Aegis and Cheese, and then go for another lane of Rax. Kind of as we saw where it's almost a bit of brute force where you're like, okay, we've got enough building damage with the God Strength and the Exorcism, as well as enough sustainability with the IO, with the relocate save, the Aegis, the Cheese, that even if we commit too hard and lose a couple lives, we're going to get a Rax here, or at least a tier 3 tower perhaps. So bit by bit, they can brute force their way through the wing space.
Secret, knowing that there is no Ravage for at least another 30 seconds, they are going to go for a smoke, an attempted pick onto the Titan. They're not going to be able to get in, but they will be able to get eyesight instead. Pulling him back in, that's a free kill for sure, as he tries to go for this deny on himself with Nightmare, but no possibility. And now with that, he may actually be able to still go high ground. Still waiting on that Ravage. No Bane for 45 seconds. Jump forward, Shackle Shot, not actually the latch, and a really great silence is the return from Arteezy. They're not even worrying about heroes at this point in time. They take the building, melee racks down, and now try and get out of here. Good blink away just in time by the Sven, trying to get some distance. Shadow, he's going to go for the jump forward, though, managed to get Highlight Die. What else can they get? Arteezy managed to run himself back while Puppy TP's away. Eternal Envy would be a great kill, but unfortunately the power shot not on point, and Eternal Envy blinks himself away. They're still going to try and catch him, it looks like. If they can get close enough for a dagger and maybe a shackle shot, but it doesn't latch to anything. Force Staff comes out. Dagger is going to slow down Eternal Envy even further. They follow the dagger to where it's going. Eternal Envy gets the blink out, though. And I think that spells the end. Wings were desperate for some kills after losing their second melee racks, but all they got was a wisp from that.
That was just such well-calculated aggression from Secret, and that's the first time where I feel like they were playing with confidence. Up until that point in the game, it's always like, okay, let's wait till we have an Aegis, let's play things really cautiously, but this time they're like, no, we know the exact cooldown on Ravage, we've got 10 seconds before it's up, let's get something done.
Yeah, and they're going to get a little bit more done, as just vision is all that's needed to be able to catch Innocence in the relocate game. Just like that, Secret are in a great position. They can control the middle lane. Bottom lane's going to be pushing itself out constantly. They can get an Aegis for themselves and end the game. And Wings, they have been gaining a little bit of gold every single time these pushes come out. We've seen, you know, the bottom lane push was actually where Spectre got a decent amount of kills in there. but it hasn't seemed to be enough to get that Spectre back in the driving seat of this game, and hasn't allowed Wings to be the aggressors, right? The one who determine when the fight actually starts.
Yeah, this long Ravage cooldown has really been Wings' undoing. Anytime they haven't had it, they can't really fight. Best case scenario if they've got on is they kill an IO, maybe an AA, but they're never really able to control the Sven and have that team fight threat against Team Secret when they haven't had Ravage. And as kind of this game develops, we'll see even more BKBs picked up. Universe has recently got one for himself. He's now got a 10-second. Highlight Die on the IO may even be able to farm up a BKB if things continue to drag. And I think Wings, even if this goes even later without them losing any further buildings in their base, they're still going to be in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, they're going to be hard-pressed to actually stop Secret, especially given the amount of map control they have. They'll still be able to hold themselves a larger and larger net worth lead over time, unless Wings can find some sort of openings. 2,500 gold on our Tide, still a ways away from that next item, whatever it may be, and I'd like to see a Shiva sometime on this team.
Yeah, Shiva's give you even more damage reduction against the Sven.
And they really need to be able to find ways to kite him. Bien is going to run into Eternal Envy, blink out.
I think Wings recognize if they give up another Roshan, they may just lose this game.
Yeah, Eternal Envy. That was actually a lot of damage, but immediately the Glimmer Cape comes out from Puppy.
Yeah, a lot of what Wings have to try and do is try and force a preemptive BKB out of Sven and then kite away from him, or force out a preemptive relocate in a situation like that. So they're not really fully committing to a fight there, just trying to see how Secret responds when they jump in. It's Rochebit, Centaur on Wildwing. Mercy.
Poor Wildwing. Doesn't even stand a chance. Its owner is not giving it a fighting chance. Come on now. Come on now. That's just cruel. Looking at the stand there, takes punishment. Eternal Envy found an opening, managed to get the Bane. And now with the BKB in top, there's nothing Gian can actually do. The Ravage ready to go, but he's trying to wait out the timers. It's just not going to be good enough. Shadow has to pull out retreat. There is the buyback on the Tidehunters, so Secret may not be able to push high ground unless they can actually get more. They have found it. Shadow is going to be corralled by Universe back into the team. And now Wings, if they hope to be able to defend, whether it's Roshan or potentially even high ground, I guess there's still the tier 2 that they have up the top lane, and Roshan is not up for another 47 seconds. Wings are actually really lucky in that regard.
They're not going to be forced to buy back or anything, but no Roche loss, but as soon as that Roche is back up, Secret are going to be heading into it, and it's at least a reasonably long time until the next Exorcism comes online with the 70 seconds further on cooldown. Something that Wings are going to be very wary of. They will have Spectre back alive, but the problem is the Spectre Haunt cooldown matches that Exorcism, so by the time they have another Haunt, there will be an Exorcism on the side of Team Secret.
Daedalus, Sven. Oh dear. Somebody is gonna get smoked, man. That is gonna be a one-shot opportunity.
Yeah,
one of these supports.
Even without this item, that last fight, Bane got 3-shotted. And that's one of the big problem here is for someone like Sven. Envy, he can catch the Bane at the start of the fight, quickly burst him down before any kind of response is possible, and there is no response available if you get the stun of the Bane, because none of Wings' teammates can actually save him in that scenario. They haven't got any... The Force Staff is on the Bane. The BKB piercing disable is on the Bane, so they're all in on this Bane to deal with this Sven BKB.
Beating into Roshan. Big man doesn't stand a chance against Eternal Envy. Full out 6-slotted Sven with a wisp behind him, increasing that attack speed. And Wings, well, they're just waiting for their doom, essentially. Secret, get every advantage that they need. It's going to be an Aegis for Arteezy, a cheese to Highlight Eye.
Yeah, that's really nice to have, because he's the one always getting jumped by the Spectre, and he can then just tether a teammate who's also taking damage, heal himself while healing any teammate back to full HP as well.
Oh, and a double damage, just a casual
You'll
side rune pickup as well. So they'll go for the tier 2 at top lane. And Secret, seemingly on the path to victory, game number 2 to push this to a full game 3 series.
KB for Spectre. I'm not sure this is the item that saved the game for you.
Radiant's top tower is under
We'll see how it works. Tier 2 now down, the top lane is exposed.
The scan from Secret, they're actually anticipating this play, but they used the smoke a little bit, the scan a little bit too early. But hey, guess what? No one's defending the high ground.
Yeah.
I wonder what that's about. And Spectre, when he defends, it's going to pop out of smoke, so this gets even more obvious.
Oh dear.
Oh, Arteezy.
Oh, the smoke actually pops now. The BKB activated. It's going to go for innocence here. Easy. 1,300 damage, critical. Sleep goes down from eyesight. I have no idea what Wings are planning now with the 2 supports already down. The Ravage, ready to go. The BKBs are down, so this will be a successful stun on many of these heroes. But are they actually ever going to have the damage? Godstrength, he's going to be running out soon, but now the exorcism comes out from Arteezy. He's going to be challenging Shadow immediately. Eternal Levy is going to be taking some focus fire damage, but really just not enough as Arteezy is challenging anybody to fight him. Now to go for the backline. They will maybe be able to get rid of Eternal Levy. His highlight, I barely managed to keep him alive as EE just doesn't care. He's going for the racks, and there they get it. Forcing out the GG call from Wings. Secrets will push this to a Game 3 and keep their hopes alive in this group.
Some really good IO play this game coming out from Highlight Eye, just finding numerous saves. Even at the end there, it got to the tether with the cheese to keep Envy alive a bit longer. But I think the big problem for Wings was the laning stage going as badly as it did. They tried to force a few ganks, like they were diving the